What's up, guys? Whalen TV here, and today I'll be ranking all 32 NFL teams based on a grade from S through D based on their 2025-2026 season. Now that the Super Bowl is officially complete, shout out to the Seahawks for winning a Super Bowl. Shout out to the Patriots for being in the Super Bowl. Yeah, that's all I got. Let's get into it. First, we got the Arizona Cardinals. They're 3-14. Um, Pretty self-explanatory. I mean, they were pretty bad. They need a new quarterback. Their defense wasn't really that good. Their offense wasn't really productive outside of Trey McBride. So, yeah, I mean, that's an easy D for everyone, I would hope. Falcons at 8 and 9. Yeah, that's a C. I mean, they were pretty close to actually getting in to the playoffs. Let's see. Yeah, they were actually decently close with the South being so bad. So, I mean, I've seen some good things from the Falcons this year that they could build off of. I mean, Penix wasn't the greatest, but he wasn't terrible. I feel like Penix could be a franchise quarterback. Uh, Bijan Robinson, in my opinion, is the best back in the league. So you got that going for you. The defense wasn't that good, but it wasn't necessarily terrible. So few upgrades to the defense, and I feel like you really have a chance to make the playoffs as soon as next year. Anyways, next we got the Ravens. And the Ravens, also 8 and 9, will also go to C. I mean, they could have been here if they just made the playoffs. If you made the playoffs, you're guaranteed a B. Okay? And there's some teams like I kind of want actually I'm going to give them a B and here's why. The adversity that they went through to even have a chance in that Steelers game was ridiculous. I mean, they shouldn't even have been there. They should have been picking top 5, number top 5. They should have been picking top 5. So I mean, I think they're gonna be good next year. I mean, their defense is rat shit, but other than that, I think they're gonna be good next year. I feel like they just need to focus heavily on defense, and they will be fine. Next up, we got the Buffalo Bills. The Bills were a tough story. Let's see, where were the Bills at? 12 and 5. That's an A season on most levels. I was gonna put them at A, but dude, you have Josh Allen, and there was no real comp in the AFC. I think they should have went to the Super Bowl. And I know, oh, you're putting the Ravens and Bills in the same tier. Yes. This was abysmal. The fact that they weren't in the Super Bowl this year, in my opinion. I know the Broncos and the Patriots were both really elite football teams this year, but I'm putting them in B because I expected them to be in the Super Bowl. Once the playoff bracket came out, I was like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Panthers, A. I mean, who thought the Panthers were going to be in the playoffs? First of all, like, hang on, let me just paint a picture for you. The Panthers have been the worst team in football pretty much for the last like 5 years. And then all of a sudden, the Bucks fall off, and now the Panthers are in the playoffs. And the fact that they competed with the Rams in the playoffs and almost upset the Rams was incredible to me. The defense was flying around pretty much all this season. Wasn't perfect. Their defense wasn't perfect. Bryce Young wasn't perfect. But the fact that the Panthers made the playoffs was a miracle, in my opinion. And I think that the Panthers are going to be the best team in the South for the next 10 straight seasons. So I think this was a great year for the Panthers, and it just gets them that playoff experience that they so desperately needed. So this was a very good season and something to build off of for the Panthers. Next, we got the Bears. Once again, A tier. I can kind of say the same thing that I said for the Panthers, except the Bears were significantly better than the Panthers. And the Bears were the 2 seed in the NFC at 11 and 6. They were better than the Packers, who everyone thought the Packers were going to be up here. I mean, Packers with injuries and whatnot, but yeah, I you can just apply everything I said to the Panthers and put it for the Chicago Bears. Next up, we got the Bengals. I mean, they were 6-11. I mean, it's a D. I'm gonna be honest, that's a D. And like their offense wise would have been up here, but their defense just destroyed it. So it's perfect that they're getting a D. Because I expected the Bengals to be in the playoffs this year, like a lot of people did, and they weren't. So yeah, it's pretty much where my logic's at. The Browns D. Myles Garrett was the only really good part of this team. Their rookie linebacker was also pretty great. Uh, Judkins was a bright spot. They need a quarterback pretty badly down there. I don't think Shador is necessarily going to be the answer. He might be. I hope he is. I like Shador Sanders quite a lot, but I still think that's a D. Next up, the Cowboys. I'm going to throw them at C, and I'm a Cowboys fan, so I know they weren't too much better than the Bengals. They were only one game better. But the Cowboys offensively was insane, like so insane. And then defensively they were down here. Let's just pretend it's a category. But Dak Prescott, George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb were ridiculous all season for the Cowboys. Were absolutely ridiculous for the Cowboys all season. And I feel like with a top 20 defense from like give us like the 20th ranked defense where probably 2 rounds deep of the playoffs bare minimum with how good our offense was. So it's my spell on the Cowboys. Sorry, I'm grieving because I wish they would have won to win the Super Bowl tonight. But unfortunately, they weren't even in it. They weren't even in the playoffs. Next up, we got the Broncos. That's an S tier. I think they're going to the Super Bowl if Bo Nix didn't get hurt. I think they're better than the Patriots all season. And I really thought they were going to be the team to beat the Patriots in the playoffs before the Seahawks. But, I mean, if Bo Nix doesn't hurt his ankle against the Bills, we're looking at uh, Broncos Seahawks Super Bowl, which is just as nostalgic as Patriots Seahawks. So yeah, Broncos were pretty incredible. Lions, see, Lions were my pick to win the whole thing this year coming into it, and they were so under expectations. It was insanity. I could not believe how bad the Lions were this year. And bad, like 8-9's not abysmal, but for the Lions, with the roster that they have, I mean, they have Gibbs, Montgomery, Goff is a really good quarterback, St. Brown, Williams. I mean, every single one of them are incredible. And you don't even make the playoffs? Yeah, that's piss poor. That's piss poor. All right, next up we got the Texans. I'm gonna throw them at A. I know it ended roughly, and now C.J. Stroud's the biggest meme in football. He's worse than J.J. McCarthy when it comes to meme level, but at the end of the day, they were 12-5 and their defense was incredible. I really thought these guys could win it all as well. The AFC, defensive wise, was so stacked. It was so stacked with all the best defenses. And the Texans, in my opinion, were at the forefront of that in like the best defensive. I thought they were better than the Broncos defensively, in my opinion. And I know the Patriots put up a decent amount of points, but when their quarterback throws what was it? It was either 4 or 5 picks. Yeah, that's a problem. And I think with most quarterbacks, they win the Super Bowl. I'm gonna be honest. With most quarterbacks, they would have won the Super Bowl. Next up, we got the Packers. Put them at B. They made the playoffs. They went through injuries. I feel like if they didn't get hurt as much as they were, they're up in these categories because I feel like they could have made the Super Bowl as well. They were one of those what ifs. So I feel bad for Packers fans. I don't like Packer fans. I don't like the Packers, but at the same time, I felt like the Packers could have been like a lot better than they were. And if the injury bug did not get them, especially as late in the season as it did, we could be talking about them as the Super Bowl champions right now. Next up, we got the Indianapolis Colts. They went 8-9, but I'm gonna put them at B. And I know this is kind of controversial. Same thing with the Ravens. Once again, that injury bug killed them. They were 7-1 and the number one team in the league at one point. Daniel Jones revived his career, and it sucks that he tore his Achilles because I like Daniel Jones as a player. He looks so productive this year, and I feel like he'll be back. And I feel like the Colts will be good next year. I feel like the Colts can be good next year. I mean, they got Riley Leonard. I mean, who knows if Leonard turns out to be a good quarterback because I feel like he's going to start for a little bit next year at least before Jones fully recovers from his Achilles. And if they're good, they might not even play Jones, but I think they can be really good. Their defense really good. When they got Sauce Gardner at that trade deadline, that was huge. I thought they were genuinely, once again, going to win the Super Bowl. And that's kind of the story of this season. How much it changed throughout the entire year. Throughout the entire year, my prediction was like Colts, Broncos, Texans, Bills, Seahawks, Rams. We're up there. Hell, Cowboys at one point. I was like, dang, these boys could make the Super Bowl. Now I'm a Cowboys fan, so it's a great feeling. Anyways, Jaguars. S. The Jaguars were abysmal. Liam Cohen came in there, turned Trevor Lawrence into an MVP candidate, and got them to a 13-4 win season. I know they got beat in the first round, but they got beat by the Buffalo Bills, who I think the Bills are still a good team, but they just ran into a really incredible defense in the Broncos, and that's why they're down here, unfortunately. But I mean, yeah, if you're a Jaguars fan, you're so happy with how this season went, and you don't get you like the 20th something pick, like low 20s, because you got eliminated in the first round. So if you're Jacksonville, you're very excited going forward. So yeah, it's a good season. It's a very successful season for Jacksonville. Chiefs, put them at D. Not really their fault. I mean, it was, but it wasn't at the same time. They dealt with injuries. They don't really have any good wide receiver weapons. I feel like Xavier Worthy, I was expecting him to take a big step this year, which I really didn't see that production that I expected from one of my favorite college players of all time. I am a Texas fan, so when he came to the Chiefs out of the draft, I was really excited for him, really scared for the rest of the league, but I feel like he didn't produce as well as I thought he was going to this season. I thought he was going to be a 1,200, 1,300 yard receiver, one of the best in the AFC. That's just, he wasn't. He wasn't that. Mahomes got hurt. Kelsey looked like a shell of himself. The defense for the Chiefs was pretty bad all year. So, yeah. Chargers, B. I mean, how much more excuses? And they didn't have a bad season. They went 11-6. How many more excuses are we going to give Justin Herbert before we realize that he is like these quarterbacks, like a Josh Allen, like a Dak Prescott, who cannot get it done? And I love Dak Prescott. And I think Dak Prescott realistically probably could if he had a defense and a good defense coordinator that does not switch schemes. And that goes into 2023. I know this is more on the Cowboys rant now, but when we were being successful in man, we changed the zone for that Packers game and we get blown out. Stuff like that. That hasn't happened for the Chargers. I know Justin Herbert's line was bottom of the league level lines, but I still feel like Justin Herbert shouldn't have that many more excuses. So that's why they're at B. Rams, that's an S. I mean, they made the NFC Championship game. Matthew Stafford was the MVP. What more could you ask for? I mean, you won a Super Bowl, and I feel like if they were in the Super Bowl tonight, they would have won. And I think a lot of NFC teams, if they were in the Super Bowl tonight, they would have realistically won because I did not think the Patriots were as good as advertised coming in. So, yeah, it's where the Rams are going to be placed. I know I didn't really say a lot about them, but I mean, the record speaks for themselves. The quarterback speaks for itself. The offense speaks for itself. Puka Nacua speaks for itself. The defense speaks for itself. I can go all day. Raiders, D, they were the worst team in football. Their future's looking bright with a generational talent in Fernando Mendoza, in my opinion. So I expect the Raiders to be here next year and then start slowly climbing up with a guy like Brock Bowers for Mendoza to throw to. Dolphins, same thing, a D. They looked really bad. Hill got hurt. Waddle seemed like he didn't want to be there anymore. The only bright spot I could think of is maybe even Quinn Ewers. I think Quinn Ewers might actually be the future of the Dolphins. I think Quinn Ewers could be the future of the Dolphins, but I feel like the Dolphins are going to go out and get like a third round quarterback and have a little battle between him and Quinn Ewers because I don't think Tua is going to be the answer. I don't think Tua is going to play another snap as a Dolphin. Vikings. Where were the Vikings at? I'm looking here on my notes. The Vikings. We're at 9-8. It's a C because they didn't make the playoffs. I don't want to throw them in here. Actually, you know what? I will. I will throw them here because I threw the Ravens in here. And my excuse for the Ravens was really valid why I threw them at B. And the Vikings went 9-8 with JJ McCarthy. Somehow, some way they went 9-8 with JJ McCarthy. So, I mean, that's that's what you would love to see because JJ McCarthy's not a good quarterback. So that just shows how respectable the defense was. Justin Jefferson didn't really have that good of a season though, but I feel like Jay Jettis will come back. Hell, maybe McCarthy will be good next year. Who knows? He's still young. I wouldn't write him off just yet, but if he has another season like that, he's out. Next up, Patriots S. They just played in the Super Bowl literally 45 minutes ago. They lost. Their O line was the worst performance I've seen from an O line all season. Drake May was getting killed, but Drake May was a MVP runner up, which I thought is where he should have been. I thought Stafford was slightly better. Diggs was pretty solid. I mean, Henderson was somewhat of a bright spot. Ramondre Stevenson had an insane year. And when I say insane, I mean for like Stevenson was wrote off by most of the league, and Stevenson had a really solid year. And I mean they made the Super Bowl, so yeah, they're at S. Saints D and Giants D. I'm not even gonna speak on it. Eagles B. I hate the Eagles, so I want to put them at C. But Eagles made the playoffs. You know what I mean? I know they got beat in the first round, but I mean the Eagles were a shell of that last year's team. Barkley couldn't get it going. That line was not as impressive as I thought it should be. Hurts looked mid at best most times. Yeah, I'm gonna put them at B. Same thing with the Steelers. I think they got B. Their defense always gonna be good. Aaron Rodgers was pretty solid this year. Their receiving core wasn't the best. It wasn't bad, but I feel like everybody had to work in that receiving core, and there wasn't a set in stone number one. Metcalf had a good couple weeks, and I think Metcalf is going to be the wide receiver one going forward for Pittsburgh, but I don't feel like Pittsburgh has that elite receiving core yet to really propel them up with these teams. But if they can get that, then they're going to be in Super Bowl contention, especially if they can get a quarterback after Rodgers. It hasn't been said if he's staying or going yet, so who knows? Seahawks. Here, we'll order this up. Okay. Seahawks, they were the best team in the league. They just went 17-3 overall. They won the Super Bowl. That defense in the Super Bowl was incredible, literally incredible. It was the best defensive performance I've ever seen in a Super Bowl. Takeaway wise, getting to the quarterback, their secondary was incredible. This was the best case scenario season for the Seahawks, and nobody thought it would happen. I thought the Seahawks would be down here, but they were at S tier, so you got to respect it. An incredible season. The Niners, I give them an A. They got blown out by the Seahawks, but actually, I'm putting them at S. The injuries that this team faced. They had Mac Jones at the beginning of the season, and I thought Mac Jones should have had a case to be starting over Purdy. I don't know if that's like a crazy take, but I think so because Mac Jones had them at 4-1, and I remember the game. They were 4-1. They lost to the Bucks. They went to 4-2, and that was a game where Fred Warner got hurt. Everyone thought it was going to be over for them. How many injuries they had? They had no real wide receiver one. George Kittle was injured off and on this season. Christian McCaffrey, funny enough, was the healthiest guy on the roster, and Christian McCaffrey had an insane comeback player of the year level season. So yeah, I feel like with everything they had to battle through, making it to the second round was so impressive. So I put the Niners at F. Bucks are at D. I mean not D. They should be. I should punish them for how dog shit they were in the second half. I'll put them at C. They were ranked as the best team in the league at one point. And that's another team I thought the Bucks were going to win too. It changed so much over the course of the season. I thought the Bucks were going to win the Super Bowl at one point, and if you're Bucks fans, you're disgusted. You are disgusted with what happened. The way they collapsed, Abuka was looking like a top 5 receiver at one point. I mean, it was incredible how fast this team fell off. It was unbelievable. And the only reason they're at C is because they borderline made the playoffs. But realistically, with how bad that collapse was, I should put them at D. But I won't go that far. Washington Commanders at D. I mean, they were in the NFC Championship a season ago, and this season they looked nothing like that. I know Daniels was hurt off and on, but even when Daniels was healthy, they struggled still. And I feel like a lot of that was on the offense, and you cannot say he didn't have weapons because he had Debo Samuel out there. He had Terry McLaurin out there. Yeah, this was an incredibly disappointing year for Commanders fans. So, yeah, they got to go D. Jets, D. They were horrible. Titans, D. They were also horrible. That's just how I'm going to end it. These two were just abysmal all season. Anyways, that's my NFL tier rankings. Take one last beautiful look at my ball knower, ball knowledge, ball knower. Anyways, appreciate you for watching. Peace out.